Rate. So talk about foreign exchange rate. So foreign exchange rate means it's the rate of one currency, rate of one currency in terms of other currency, rate of one currency in terms of another currency. Now, when we talk about the rates could be stable, right? Earlier years, the rate was stable because there was an controlling from the government, because the rates were controlled by the government, it was under common control, right? Or now you find the rates are flexible, or it is keep changing continuously. So here the market forces are responsible for change in the rates, right? In your changing the exchange rate regularly, because market forces, they mean it refers to the demand and supply of the currency in the market, right? Now, basics on the rate is that we should know how to interpret the codes. So we have three types of codes. Three types of codes. One is your direct code, and one is your indirect code. Then you have the cross currency code, right? You have three types of codes. One is your direct code, one is your indirect code, and one is your cross currency. Now, so when we talk about the direct code, right? So I put it as DQ when we talk about direct code. Direct code is not is your one unit of foreign currency and corresponding unit of home currency. So direct quote is your one unit of foreign currency, corresponding unit of home currency. If I take an example, $1 equal to, say, assume that rupees 40, right? In this case, how you will be identifying the direct quote? Here you have the one unit of foreign currency and the corresponding unit of home currency. Home currency we mean with respect to India. So we are in India, so with respect to India, it is a direct quote. Suppose I say 1 pound is equal to rupees 82. In this case, with respect to India, it is direct quote. Why? One unit of foreign currency, corresponding unit of home currency. Right. In similar way, we talk about the IDQ, that is indirect quote. So indirect quote is one unit of home currency, one unit of home currency and corresponding unit of foreign currency, right? So one unit of home currency, corresponding unit of foreign currency. In this case, suppose I say rupee 1, right? So rupee 1 is equal to dollar 0.0250. So in this case, how you will be identifying the indirect quote with respect to India? So it is one unit of home currency, corresponding unit of foreign currency. Another example I can take is that suppose I take rupee 1 equal to, say, euro 0.0185. So in this case, you have one unit of home currency, corresponding unit of foreign currency. So this is your indirect code. Next, third, you have the cross currency code. So in this, you have both the currencies or foreign currencies. In this case, your both currencies or foreign currency, right? So you have $1 equal to this much pound, right? 0.5488. So in this case, you have both the currencies are foreign currency. So $1 is 0.5488 pounds. So this is your cross currency code. Now when we come to the market, normally in the trading platform, you find that the codes will be given in bid and ask rate. Right? So code will be given in two ways. That is the thing that we have to see right now. Suppose you have the code given here, say $1 equal to rupees. Assume that 40.10. Then you have rupees 40.15. So in this case, you have been given a rate $1 equal to 40.10 and rupees 40.15. So how you have to interpret? First, you have to interpret whether what type of quote it is. So in this case, it is a direct quote. So direct quote means one unit of foreign currency, corresponding unit of home currency. So this is your direct quote. Now in this case, first thing you have to check out that which rate I have to interpret. In this case, you have to see the left hand currency. This is your left hand currency, right? And the rate is given in dollar. So rate is given in dollar. So this is your left hand currency and the rate is given in dollar. Now you have to interpret from the point of view of bank, right? So from the point of view of bank, you have to interpret. Now in this case, bank will buy the left hand currency at rupees 40.10, right? And bank will be selling the dollar at 40.15, right? So we have to interpret bank is buying the left hand currency at 40.10 and bank will be selling dollar at 40.15. Suppose we take an example, a very simple example. Suppose we have $1,000 in our hands, right? So I put it as u, right? So we are having, see, $1,000. You are having, see, you are having $1,000 in your hands, right? What you do, you require rupee, right? Somehow you require, you don't want dollar, $1,000. So what you do, you go to bank, and what you do, you will sell the dollar to the bank. So normally you'll be selling the $1,000 to the bank. Now you have to think. So now we have to think from the point of view of the bank. Now you are selling dollar. So bank will be buying the dollar at what rate? So bank will be buying the left hand currency, which is the dollar, at the rupees 40.10, right? So bank will be buying the dollar at this rate, 40.10, right? So what is the amount of rupee you will be getting? So you'll be getting rupees 1,000 into, bank will be buying the dollar because you are selling $1,000. Bank will be buying dollar at 40.10. So it comes around 40,100, right? So you'll be having 40,100, right? So suppose, so this is the context that you have to interpret what the bank is selling. So bank is selling right now. In one more context that we can say is that, suppose bank is selling the currency, that is the dollar, at 40.15. Suppose the same example you take. Suppose you are in a situation of going to purchase some product in abroad, right? And you require say $1,000, right? You require $1,000. So what you will be doing now, you will be going to the bank and you have to buy the dollar, right? So you have to buy the dollar, so require $1,000. So you go to the bank and you'll be buying the dollar. Now in this case, you have to think only from the bank's point of view. So in this case, bank will be selling dollar at what rate? The bank will be selling dollar at 40.15, right, which is your ask rate. So bank will be selling the dollar at 40.15. So in this case, you require $1,000. You go to bank and you have to buy $1,000. So bank will be selling the dollar at the ask rate, which is 40.15. So what is the amount that you have to pay to the bank in rupee to get the dollar? So you have to pay to the bank how much rupees that you have to pay to get the $1,000. So bank will be, so what amount? 1,000, right, into 40.15. So your amount will be rupees 40150, right? So which is the negative amount, because we have to pay to the bank 40,150 to get $1,000 from the bank. So this is with respect to your direct quote, right? The same example we take for the indirect quote, right? We take for the indirect quote with an example. Suppose I have an example, say rupee 1 is equal to dollar 0.0250, or you have a dollar 0.0251, right? So indirect quote, first, whenever the exchange rate is given to you, you have to interpret what type of quote it is. In this case, you have the indirect quote, that is 1 unit of home currency corresponding unit of foreign currency, 1 unit of home currency and corresponding unit of foreign currency. So in this case, first thing you should know the what is the left hand currency, because we have to think only from the point of view of bank. So this is your left hand currency and the rate is given in rupee. The rate is given in rupee, right? So the uh, the rate that the bank will be buying the left hand currency. The bank will be buying rupee at 0.025, which is your bid rate, right? In similar way, bank will be selling rupee at the ask rate, which is 0.0251, right? So we put into the very simple example. Once again, we get into the simple example. So in this case, suppose you have 1 lakh in your hands. Suppose you are having in your hand, say, rupees 1 lakh, right? You are having 1 lakh in the hand, right? And you have decided that you want this 1 lakh to be converted into dollar. So you've decided that this 1 lakh to be converted into dollar. So what you will be doing? So you will be going to the bank, right? So in this case, what you are doing, you are going to the bank and you are selling rupee, right? So you will be selling rupee to the bank. Now in this case, you have to think what bank will be buying rupee at what rate. So from the bank point of view, you have to think, right? So bank will be buying rupee at what rate? The bid rate, that is 0.025. So left hand currency, bank will be buying the left hand currency at the bid rate, which is 0.0251, right? So in this case, you'll be getting in dollar, right? So you're selling rupees and you'll be getting the dollar. So dollar 1 lakh into the rate is the bid rate 0.0251. So in this case, you'll be getting $2,500, right? So in this case, you're getting $2,500. Now we put this in the same situation. Suppose we are having right now $2,500 in our hand. Suppose you are having in your hand, you are having $2,500, right? And you find that I don't want this $2,500, but I need this in rupee, right? I want to convert this $2,500 into rupee, right? So first you will be doing, you will be going to the bank. Once again, in this case, what you are doing? So in this case, you are selling the dollar. You are selling the dollar to the bank. Now, but the rate that which is given to us is that bank is buying rupee at the bid rate, which is $0.0250, and bank is selling the rupee at ask rate, which is 0.0251, because it is indirect code. So you have to think from the bank point of view and indirectly. So you are selling dollar, right? You are selling dollar to the bank, but in this case, you have to think that you require rupee, right? So indirectly, it means that you require rupee. You require rupee. So no, when you require rupee, it means that bank has to sell rupee, right? So you have to think about at what rate the bank will be selling rupee. So the bank will be selling rupee at ask rate, which is 0.0251, which is in denominator, right? So in this case, the ask rate is applicable over here. So the applicable rate is what? The ask rate, right? So bank is selling rupee at 0.0251. So in this case, you'll be getting how much? $2,500 in your hand, and this is your ask rate. So 1 divided by 0.0251, because it is in indirect code. You have 2,500 divided by 0.0251, which is equal to it fetch you something around 9960, right? So this is the basic crux of conversion of your direct code to indirect.